The observation deck of Station Helios 7 hummed with the usual cacophony of galactic commerce. Hundreds of species mingled in the marketplace, their translators chirping and buzzing as deals were struck and gossip exchanged. But Noah Pierce stood apart from the crowd, his attention fixed on the small creature trembling in the corner of a dingy holding pen. The cub was no larger than a terrier, covered in iridescent scales that shifted from deep purple to midnight blue. His four eyes, two primary, two secondary, darted nervously around the space, tracking every movement with predatory precision. A thick metal collar circled his neck, blinking red with containment protocols. "That's Corin," the Velkari trader said, mandibles clicking with distaste. "Rescued him from a debris field near the Scorian Rift. Orphan, probably. Been through 4 caregivers already." Noah crouched down, ignoring the trader's warning hiss. "What happened to them? What do you think happened?" The Velkari's antennae twitched irritably. "The creature is defective, lashes out without provocation. The Thexian lost 2 manipulator appendages. The Groxian needed dermal regeneration for a month. Even a Kralin warrior, returned him after 3 solar cycles, claiming the cub was touched by void madness." Through the pen's transparent aluminum, Noah could see the scars crisscrossing Corin's small body. Burns, puncture wounds, what looked like the mark of a neural whip. The cub's eyes met his, and Noah saw something there that made his chest tighten. Not madness, fear. The desperate, cornered fear of something that had learned the universe was cruel and unforgiving. "I'll take him," Noah said quietly. The Velkari's laugh was like glass breaking. "You're either brave or stupid, human. No refunds, no liability claims. And the collar stays on until you're off station. Regulation." Noah transferred the credits without hesitation. The first week aboard Noah's ship, the Meridian's Hope, was a careful dance. Noah gave Corin space, speaking softly as he went about his routines. He placed food at a distance, never approaching when the cub ate. He kept his movements slow and predictable. He sang old Earth songs while he worked on the navigation console, letting his voice become part of the ship's ambient noise. Corin watched everything with those 4 unblinking eyes, pressed into the corner of the small cabin Noah had converted into his space. The cub's scales flickered through colors Noah was learning to read: gray for fear, deep blue for alertness, a muted purple that might have been exhaustion. On the 8th day, Corin lunged at Noah while he was setting down the food bowl. The cub's teeth, rows of crystalline razors, sank into Noah's forearm. Pain exploded up his arm as Corin's natural venom entered his bloodstream, designed to paralyze prey 3 times a human's size. Noah didn't pull away, didn't shout, didn't strike back. He sat down slowly, his vision already blurring at the edges. "It's okay," he whispered, even as his arm went numb. "It's okay, Corin. I'm not going anywhere." The cub released him, skittering backward, scales flashing alarm red. Noah reached for the medical kit with his good hand, fumbling with the anti-venom injector. His fingers were clumsy, unresponsive. The injector clattered to the floor. Corin could have fled, could have hidden. Instead, small claws clicked across the deck plating as the cub approached the fallen injector. Those predatory eyes studied it, then Noah's face, then the medical kit still hanging open on the wall. With surprising gentleness, Corin nudged the injector toward Noah's hand. By the 3rd month, Corin had stopped hiding. He would sit on the navigation console while Noah plotted jumps, his small body vibrating with a purr-like sound that resonated through his scales. The scars were still there, but they no longer dominated the cub's appearance. Proper nutrition had filled out his frame. His scales had developed a lustrous sheen, and he had stopped attacking. Noah had scars of his own now, a collection of punctures, scratches, and one memorable bite on his shoulder that had taken 2 weeks to fully heal. He wore them without complaint. Each one represented a moment when Corin had been afraid, and each one was followed by the cub's visible confusion when Noah simply tended his wounds and continued caring for him. "You know what I think?" Noah said one evening, letting Corin perch on his shoulder as he cooked dinner. "Real food now, not the nutrient paste the previous caregivers had provided. I think you weren't defective at all. I think you were just scared. And when you're scared, you defend yourself. That's not madness. That's survival. Corin's primary eyes swiveled to meet his, scales rippling through shades of purple and blue that Noah had come to associate with contentment. Station Helios 7 was even more crowded when they returned 4 months later. Noah needed supplies, and Corin, now significantly larger, padded beside him through the market, a custom harness replacing the brutal containment collar. "Stars above," a familiar voice clicked. "The humans survived." The Velkari trader approached, antennae quivering with what might have been disbelief. A small crowd was forming. Corin's species were known throughout the sector, fierce, intelligent, nearly impossible to domesticate. Seeing one walk calmly beside a human was unprecedented. "That's impossible," a Kralin warrior rumbled, his three eyes narrowing. "The cub was void-touched, vicious." "No," Noah said firmly, his hand resting gently on Corin's head. "He was traumatized. There's a difference." "Semantics," the Kralin dismissed. "The result is the same. A dangerous animal." As if to prove the point, Agroxian made the mistake of reaching toward Corin too quickly. The cub's response was immediate, a warning hiss, scales flashing aggressive red, muscles coiling to strike. But he didn't attack. Instead, Corin looked up at Noah, seeking guidance. "Easy, buddy," Noah murmured. "He's just curious, not a threat." Corin's scales slowly shifted back to calm blue. The crowd murmured with amazement. "How?" the Velkari demanded. "Every other species tried everything. Behavioral modification, pheromone therapy, neural conditioning, all failures." Noah knelt beside Corin, scratching behind the cub's primary ear ridges, a spot he'd discovered Corin loved. "I didn't try to fix him. I just gave him time, safety, consistency. I let him know that no matter what he did, I wasn't going to abandon him." "Even when he injured you?" the Kralin pressed. "My sensors detect extensive scarring on your arms and torso." "Especially then," Noah said simply. "Where I come from, we have a saying. Hurt people hurt people. The same is true across species." Corin wasn't trying to be vicious. He was trying to survive in a universe that had shown him nothing but pain. He stood, and Corin pressed against his leg, a gesture of trust that made several observers take involuntary steps backward. "Humans," the Valkyrie muttered, shaking his head. "Absolutely irrational." Noah smiled. "Maybe, or maybe we just understand something about patience, about giving second chances, about looking at a frightened, angry, hurt creature and seeing not what they are but what they could become with a little compassion." As they walked away, Corin's scales rippled with colors Noah had never seen before, a warm amber that seemed to glow from within. Later, he would learn it was the color Corin's species displayed only for those they considered family. Behind them, the crowd dispersed, but the story spread. The human who succeeded where entire civilizations had failed, not through technology or force, but through the simple, stubborn refusal to give up on a creature everyone else had deemed beyond redemption. In a galaxy of thousands of species, each with their own strengths, perhaps humanity's greatest gift was this: the ability to look at something broken and see the possibility of healing, to face anger with patience, to answer fear with presence. And sometimes that made all the difference.